We continue with Countdown to Tiger Kickoff on the ETBUsportsnet. Joining us now is the head coach of the Tigers, Mark Sartain. Coach, tough loss for your Tigers last week in the American Southwest Conference opener, losing to Texas Lutheran 34-28. It was a ball game that it started out great, 14-0. You had a commanding lead at the beginning, but unfortunately things didn't go for us like we wanted to. What did you say to your team to help put that game in perspective and get ready for this Saturday's contest against Louisiana College?
Well, there's really not a whole lot you can say. You know, coaches spend a lot of time, sometimes waste a lot of time after a game like that trying to put it all in perspective. And basically all I shared with them was that when we deserve to win a football game like that, we'll win a football game like that. So we've just got to go back to work. We've got to keep a loss from becoming any more than a loss, just like you would if you'd won. You don't want a win to become more than just one win. It's only worth one, and the loss is only worth one also. So we're going to work hard and have been working hard this week to prepare for Louisiana College. They're a good football team.
Even though your season record is 1-3, you only have one conference loss, which was the opener against TLU. This season's far from over, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of football left to play, and the age that we live in has a tendency to overhype anything that you do, whether it be success or failure. But there's still plenty of opportunities for us to make our mark in the ASC. And one of the things we shared with our guys this Monday morning to start the week was that regardless of the outcome from last Saturday, it doesn't change at all what we still have to do if we want to accomplish what we've set out to accomplish. Had we won Saturday, Louisiana College is still coming to town, and we then got to go to Hardin-Simmons, and then Howard Payne's coming here, and all that has to take place regardless. So quite honestly, nothing's changed.
Does the hype of them being ranked in the nation play in your getting the team ready to play?
No, I don't think anything would hype any more than it already is, as sort of across the river rivalry and a team that we feel like have slipped a couple over on us in the last couple of years as well, and being in the position that we're in 0-1, we've got to gear it up, and national ranking really has no consequence here.
Going back to the game against Texas Lutheran, it was good to see senior Alex Cloudy with a pick six.
Absolutely, that was a big play for Alex. Alex as a junior had a few opportunities for that type of play and couldn't quite come up with the football, and it was a very frustrating year for him in that respect. And Alex has come a long, long way as a young man, emotionally, physically, has prepared very diligently this season, and it was a very rewarding time for he and us to see him pull that one off.
You've already talked about how you are pleased with the play of your wide receivers and Kwame Spikes and Roy Denbo, but Roy had another great game, 6 receptions for 130 yards. He seems to be able to catch anything.
Oh, Roy is a phenomenal receiver, and very, very dependable. Runs incredible routes. Is a very smart receiver and tough. And you don't see very many of them bounce off of him. He's gonna, if you put it around him, he's gonna catch it.
If I recall, he is from Canton, and yes. Canton is known in East Texas football to be a throwing team, so he's had a lot of experience.
Oh, absolutely. He was prolific in his high school career, and he's, of course, just a sophomore for us, so he's got a lot of football left to play.
Before we continue to talk about your next opponent, Louisiana College, let's give you an opportunity to do something we do each week on the Countdown to Tiger Kickoff show. An opportunity for you to talk about one of your coaching staff as well as 2 of your players who called East Texas home, played their high school football right here in East Texas. First, let's highlight a coach. Who would you like to feature this week?
Well, let's talk about Ronnie Mclean. Rodney is our wide receivers coach for the second time. Rodney was a player here when I arrived in 2007. Played a couple seasons for me, and then began to coach for me. Stayed right here and began his coaching career here until one of our summer mission trips gave him an opportunity to do what he's always been called to do. He took a group of our players to Turkey on a mission trip, I believe 3 years ago, and decided to stay. Was offered a job to stay in Turkey, coach American football and teach English at one of the universities there near Istanbul. And Rodney was there for 2 years, came back this summer. His tenure there was up, and we were fortunate enough to snatch him back up, and he's now our wide receivers coach again for the second time. And incredible young man, tremendous representative of ETBU football. Just one of my all-time favorite guys, and it's just great to have him on our staff.
Now let's move over to the player side and talk about two of the players on your team that played high school football right here in East Texas. Who would you like to feature this week, Coach?
We'll talk first about Chad Bowers, a senior tight end from Mount Pleasant High School. Chad has been with us all 4 years. He's also been our starting deep snapper now for 3 seasons. He is as steady as they come. You know, Chad is an incredible student, incredible young man, a leader on our football team. Like I said, has been our deep snapper for the last 3 seasons, taken, I believe, every short and deep snap we've made for the last 3 seasons. And he's also really coming along this year as a tight end, has several receptions and a touchdown or 2, and got married this past summer, so we're excited for Chad, and he's having a good senior year. And then we'll talk also about Dominique Bailey. Dominique is a transfer freshman, basically a redshirt freshman from Jasper, Texas. Dominique is one of our starting corners right now. Came to us back in January, went through the off season. Has really stepped in and made a significant difference in our secondary. Got a couple of picks this year. He's playing extremely well. We're very excited to have him in our program. Glad he showed up in January for us.
I encourage our listeners to go to the ETBUsports.com website and just look down the roster of the Tigers and just see how many players come from right here in East Texas playing for the ETBU Tigers. Coach, before we talk about your opponent today more in depth, Louisiana College, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about a summer mission trip that the team took this past summer, and an opportunity that some of your players will have coming up Sunday night at First Baptist Jefferson to relate. There's just a bit more to this game than just hitting people. You try to bring an aspect of serving others, and I like that. Talk about the trip that you had this past summer.
Well, it's our 6th trip. The second time to the Ukraine. We go to a place called Open Doors Christian Camp in a city I won't try to pronounce in the Ukraine. It's a converted communist indoctrination camp that was abandoned by the Russian government after the Chernobyl incident. It's about 45 minutes from Chernobyl. A group of Christians purchased the property, and it now serves as the summer and winter homes for many Ukrainian and Russian youngsters that might not have a place to stay when school's not in session. We go there as a construction ministry team through Advancing Native Missions out of Charlottesville, Virginia, and we've gone to Croatia twice with that organization, to Ukraine twice, to London once, and then we've also been to Turkey through another organization. But Advancing Native Missions have been very helpful in getting our guys those opportunities to go out because we do believe that it's more than just about the game. As a program involved with an institution like East Texas Baptist University, it's been my priority, as I believe it is the universities, that their programs reflect the same values and the same mission statements that the university is founded on. So we work very hard to get as many of our guys to do that as possible over the years. We've had over 60 of them that have been able to take those type of trips, and we get to share this coming Sunday night at First Baptist Jefferson some pictures and some testimonies and just some of the details about our experiences overseas in these mission endeavors.
All right, Coach, just a few more minutes left to count down a Tiger kickoff. Let's talk about your opponent for Saturday night's game, Louisiana College. They come into Ornelas ranked number 21 in the nation according to D3 football. They're 3-1. You've got a tough opponent to face.
Oh, absolutely. Probably the toughest that we faced. They ball rights should have beaten Wesley College 2 weeks ago. They're in Pineville. Had it not been for a late mistake and a gutsy performance by the Wesley team coming off a tough road trip. But they're certainly the most talented football team we will have faced to this point, and most talented we might face for the entire year. They always have a stable of skilled people that are rivaled by, none in our conference. And there'll be a formidable opponent, and we've got our work cut out for us.
Coach, best of the Tigers.
Thanks, Mike.
Stay tuned. Kickoff this Saturday night, Ornelas Stadium. Back with more in just a moment.